When Representative Jasmine Crockett entered the venue during Trump's address, he promptly instructed security to remove her. Yet, before they could approach, she seized the opportunity to speak for a mere 20 seconds, stunning everyone present. The occasion was meant to be another conference at the K. Bailey Hutcherson Convention Center in Dallas, where Trump was scheduled to deliver his remarks. Events seldom unfolded as planned when he took the stage. The auditorium filled rapidly, every chair taken, with attendees expecting Trump to command the gathering. Meanwhile, security had discreetly intensified backstage. The lights softened, and Trump was announced. He entered deliberately, sporting his signature smile. The applause roared, though not all were cheering. Then, from the media section, a figure emerged, clad in a dark jacket and radiating poised assurance. It took a moment for the audience to recognize her. Jasmine Crockett, the first-term congresswoman from Texas's 30th district, renowned for her sharp inquiries. Her presence, especially alone during Trump's speech, was unexpected. Trump noticed her immediately, his speech stumbling. "What's happening here?" he questioned into the microphone, squinting across the platform. Was she invited? The crowd murmured. Phones raised, and security pivoted toward her. Crockett remained unfazed, advancing a few steps before halting midway along the side aisle. One voice yelled, "You're not welcome here." Trump gestured to the stage crew. "Handle that," he ordered. Security began approaching her. Crockett raised her palm, signaling her intent to speak. "I only need 1 minute," she declared, her voice carrying to the microphone, silencing the hall. "1 minute, and I'll depart." The atmosphere stilled. No one stirred. Trump hesitated, her calm demeanor causing a pause rather than chaos. The two security officers continued advancing, but the room remained uncertain. Jasmine Crockett stood firm, resolute. "I was invited," she stated, addressing the audience, "by Representative Noah Hargrove, who couldn't attend today." Turning to Trump, she continued, "You claim to value open discussion. Allow me 1 minute of mine." The guard slowed, unsure whether to proceed. Trump glanced at the audience, then back at Crockett. "This isn't your stage," he retorted into the microphone. "You weren't approved." "Want a minute? Start a podcast." Laughter rippled through parts of the crowd, but Crockett remained composed. "I'm not here to cause a scene," she said. "I'm here because this nation belongs to everyone, not just those we align with." That struck harder than anticipated. Trump stepped back from the lectern, gesturing impatiently. "I'm not engaging," he muttered off mic. "Just remove her." One guard advanced further, but an elderly woman in the front row stood. "Let her speak," she urged. A man 3 rows back echoed, "Yeah, let her talk." The support wasn't overwhelming, but it sufficed to halt the moment. Trump squinted at the crowd. "Really? We're letting someone hijack a stage and call it free speech?" Yet there was no significant resistance now. Too many phones were recording. The stage was no longer controlled. It had become a public spectacle. Finally, with clear reluctance, Trump waved toward the microphone. "Fine, okay," he conceded. "You've got 60 seconds. Go on. Say something insightful." He stepped aside. Security paused. Crockett didn't rush the platform. She walked deliberately to the front, stopping short of the steps. Instead of claiming the podium, she faced the audience, hands clasped. "I won't discuss policy," she began. "Not today. Because this isn't about policy anymore. It's about people, how we communicate, how we stop listening once we hear the other side's label." She paused, scanning the room. "I grew up 15 minutes from here in South Dallas. I rode the DART to school, passing this convention center daily, never imagining I'd stand here requesting the right to speak." Some leaned forward. "I'm not here to persuade you, expecting applause or agreement. I just want us to remember we're not adversaries. We're Americans. If we can't tolerate a challenging voice, we've already lost more than an election." Silence followed, not uneasy, just profound. Even Trump didn't interrupt. Crockett glanced around, nodded slightly, and stepped back. "That's all I wanted to say." The room wasn't ready to move on. The silence was heavy, not tense but significant. Trump remained off to the side, arms crossed, observing her. Jasmine stood just below the stage's edge. Then, a clap began in the back right corner. Hesitant at first, 1 or 2 hands, then more. Not a standing ovation, but enough to break the stillness. Trump stepped forward, cutting into the moment. "All right," he said. She had her moment. "That's America, folks, even when you don't want to hear it." His tone was half sharp, half dismissive, but he sensed the room's energy had shifted. Another person stood mid-row, in a red golf shirt. "Congresswoman," he called clearly, "I don't agree with you on much, but you said that better than most ever have. Respect." She didn't smile, just nodded once. Trump blinked, visibly caught off guard. He raised an eyebrow, turning slightly toward the man. "Well, aren't you full of surprises today?" Trump said with a quick laugh that fell flat. The moment began to slip back to normalcy. Reporters rushed to upload clips, and security relaxed. Jasmine Crockett stepped back to the wall, yielding space. She wasn't escorted out. She found an empty seat near the exit and sat, calm and silent, yet still drawing attention. On stage, Trump shifted uncomfortably, the spotlight no longer his. He adjusted the microphone. "Well, I think we've all had our civics lesson today," he said. "Can we return to discussing how to actually fix the country?" Chuckles followed, Applause resumed, but the rhythm wasn't quite restored. Just as Trump began his points, another voice called out, "Why not address what she said?" Gasps followed. Phones lifted again. Trump froze. "I don't need to respond," he said curtly. "She has her view. I have mine. And I was invited." Then Jasmine did something unexpected again. She stood, walked slowly back to the side aisle, and instead of exiting, faced the crowd. "I didn't come for attention," she said plainly. "But maybe some of you came needing to hear something different. Not better, not perfect, just different." With that, she left quietly. The moment didn't stay confined to the ballroom. By the time Jasmine Crockett reached the hallway's end, her phone had buzzed 9 times. Inside, the panel struggled to regain momentum. Trump leaned into his script, but the energy faltered like driving with mismatched tires. What resonated wasn't her words alone but her delivery. No theatrics, no slogans, just steady words spoken clearly. By the summit's end, her entrance was viral. Attendees gathered near escalators, replaying clips. 2 hours later, a grainy video hit Twitter, capturing everything, amassing over 20,000 likes in an hour. Comments poured in. "Didn't expect to agree with Jasmine Crockett today. But wow, respect. This is how you change minds, not with noise, with clarity." By nightfall, cable news covered it. Not just expected networks but all. One headline read, "Congresswoman sparks unscripted unity in divided room." Another called it an unexpected act of political courage. Not all reactions were positive. Some far-right commentators called her an opportunist. Yet, the claim didn't hold, as a staged moment would have felt louder, more polished. This felt like someone entering an unwelcoming space, asking for a chance to be heard without shouting. At her Dallas home that evening, Jasmine sat with her team. "I didn't expect it to unfold like that," she said. "You didn't expect applause either," her aide replied. "But you got some." "I wasn't seeking applause," Jasmine said. "I wanted them to see a person, not a soundbite or an enemy." Her press manager, Ruben Sloan, scrolled through Twitter. "They're calling it a turning point," he said. "Even politics haters are sharing it." Jasmine looked up, weary. "That's the saddest part," she said. "All I did was ask for 60 seconds without yelling, and it's a national headline." Later, in the vendor lot, she encountered a small group of attendees. Hearing her name, she turned to see a man jogging toward her, cautious. "I didn't come to hear your side," he said. "But I did. And I'm glad. I run a roofing company in Temple, voted red every election since I could. But what you said got to me." He extended his hand. She shook it. "You listened," she said. "That's more than most try." Backstage, in a private lounge, Trump paced, frustrated at being caught off guard. "Who cleared her?" He snapped at an aide. "She wasn't on the list." The aide stammered. "She came on Representative Hargrove's credentials, sir. Technically invited as a guest." "Technically?" Trump scoffed. "Hackers and criminals get it on technicalities. I want names." He stopped, staring at a monitor replaying Jasmine's moment. "She was too calm," he said. "Not a tremble." "That wasn't spontaneous, it was planned." The aide stayed silent. "And the crowd?" Trump barked. "Some of our people clapped." "What was that?" "They were just reacting, sir," the aide said. "It surprised everyone." "Exactly," Trump replied, grabbing a water bottle. His longtime advisor, Wesley Stokes, spoke up. "You didn't lose the crowd, but you didn't control it either." That moment's everywhere now. They're not talking policy, they're talking her. Trump frowned. "She's not the future. She's noise." Wesley shrugged. "Maybe, but noise spreads fast." Trump waved him off. Sitting heavily. "She played differently," Wesley continued. "No yelling, no accusations, just showed up like she belonged." After a pause, Trump leaned forward, surprising his team. "She had the room for a second. I'll give her that." Wesley blinked. "You respect what she did?" Trump didn't answer directly, staring at the screen. "I respect strategy," he said. "Doesn't mean I won't dismantle it." Outside, his campaign staff scrambled to draft a statement, ignoring it wasn't an option. The clip dominated prime time. Meanwhile, Jasmine sat alone in her living room, her phone buzzing with unread messages. She glanced at a voicemail from her mother. "You did good, baby. Don't let them twist it. You spoke like a woman raised right." She smiled faintly. A knock interrupted. Ruben, her press manager, with a laptop. "We need to discuss invites," he said. "A Pennsylvania town hall wants you next week. PBS requests a one-on-one. And, believe it or not, Fox wants a segment." She didn't respond immediately. "I didn't do it for this," she said. "I couldn't sit through another one-sided speech about what real Americans want. Like I'm not one." Ruben nodded. "You didn't scream to prove it. That's why it worked." They sat quietly. "Regret it?" he asked. Jasmine exhaled. "I regret that it felt rare. I regret that speaking truth quietly is radical now." Upstairs, her niece watched the clip on TV. The anchor's voice carrying unusual calm. A rare moment that left the crowd and even the former president without a quick retort. In Washington, a campaign manager jotted out ideas. In Florida, a donor withdrew funding. In political circles, a question lingered. If 1 minute of clarity can shake a room, what could 5 do? 2 mornings later, Jasmine sat in an Oak Cliff cafe hoping for quiet, but a barista recognized her. Then a woman in scrubs approached. "Are you her?" the woman asked. Jasmine looked up. "I am." The woman smiled. "I watched your clip 3 times yesterday. My dad's a trucker, always voted Trump. But your words made him quiet. He said, "She's got guts. Reminds me of your grandma." She placed a folded note on the table. "He doesn't do social media, so he asked me to write this." The note read, "I don't agree with you, but I listened. That's more than I can say for most." Later, in an interview with local journalist Shelby Dunn, a 20-year veteran of Texas politics, Shelby said, "I've been in many rooms like that, but none stopped like it did for you." Jasmine fussed, "I wasn't trying to stop anything. I just wanted to say what's never said at these events, that it's okay to disagree without thinking someone hates the country." Shelby raised an eyebrow. Jasmine looked away briefly. "I knew the risk," she said. "But scared? Not really. I've faced louder men in smaller rooms." She smiled softly. "What scared me more was what would have happened if I'd stayed silent." The discussion deepened. "Would the response have been the same if you'd shouted?" Shelby asked. Jasmine didn't hesitate. "No. People would have turned away. That room wasn't built for my anger. But when I didn't come in swinging, they had to choose between listening or leaving. Most stayed." Shelby leaned back. "What now?" Jasmine sighed. "I don't want to be a moment. I want this to be a start. If people left thinking maybe I should listen before assuming, that's enough." Back at the convention center, the energy hadn't normalized. Attendees didn't discuss tax reform. They talked about her. That minute of silence. What lingered wasn't the applause but the aftermath. During a break, a small group gathered near the coffee station, people from across the state, not yelling or filming, just conversing. A veteran, Jasper Thorne, leaned against a column. "I'm a Trump guy," he said. "Always have been." But she wasn't wrong. Her composure got to me. Even in the next panel, the undercurrent persisted. State Senator Colin Greer, mid-discussion, couldn't resist. "I wasn't going to mention this," he said. "But if we ignore that moment, we're pretending." Congresswoman Crockett showed courage, whether you like her or not. And whether you like me or not, courage still matters in politics. The applause wasn't loud but genuine. In a time when volume often trumps value, Crockett cut through by refusing to play the usual game. She wasn't celebrating. Back in her district, she walked neighborhoods, met teachers, held listening sessions, and spoke with small business owners. Her team urged her to chase the national spotlight, but she stayed local. "Let them know I'm still a neighbor, not a headline." Fame was tempting, but she knew the responsibility now on her shoulders. Once you show a different way to be heard, people expect more from you and everyone else. What's your take on this? Share your thoughts below. If this story resonated, subscribe to Celebrity Stories. We're exploring complexities others avoid, and we're just beginning. Bless you, and bless America.